Check, check. 1, 2. YouTube, you alive? YouTube is alive. What's up, YouTube? Another Monday, back for another vlog. We're going to get started in just a second. As I do, I'll do some test runs here, and then I'll start my IG stream. So, let's see here. All right. Okay. What's the word, what you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been working on restructuring beats for some new processes. Don't like that. Restructuring beats for different projects. Restructuring beats for different projects. We'll do our House of the Dragons newest episode recap and getting the band back together. Recruiting musicians for live instrumentation. Want to hear more? All right. What's the word, what you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, been restructuring some beats for some new process. Restructuring beats for a new project. I've been restructuring some beats for a new project. Also, we've got to review House of the Dragons newest episode and putting the band back together. Recruiting musicians for live instrumentation. What's the word, what you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been restructuring some beats for new projects. Also, we've got our House of the Dragon episode 5 recap and putting the band back together. Recruiting musicians for live instrumentation. Want to hear more? Keep watching. All right. Not bad. Why am I getting so blown out right now? On YouTube. We'll try this. 1 second. A little more of that. All right. One more thing. Okay. We'll reformat that. YouTube, we in here, man. We about to do this. Sorry if you have been in the chat. I'm not looking. We good. Always with this keyframe issue. All right. Practice runs. What's the word, what you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been restructuring some beats for some new projects. Also, we've got to review the newest House of the Dragons episode and putting the band back together. Recruiting musicians for live instrumentation. Want to hear more? Keep watching. I'm feeling that. All right. We about to knock this out. Oh, squeaky chair. All right. We're doing this. Not yet. So one more thing. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. All right, we knocking this out, YouTube. We'll do one more down here. What's the word? What you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been restructuring some beats for some new projects. Also, we got to go through the newest House of the Dragon episode and putting the band back together, recruiting some musicians for live instrumentation. Want to hear more? Keep watching. That's right, CiceroMode Creative, Music, and Media, what I create, produce, and promote. All right, we rocking and rolling. Check, check. 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 All right. All right, what's the word? What you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been restructuring some beats for some new projects. Also, we got to talk about the new House of the Dragon episode and picking up the new band. That's not the phrase. This thing is wobbly. What's the word? What you heard? CiceroMode here for vlog 196. This week, I've been restructuring some beats for some new projects. Also, we got to talk about the new House of the Dragon episode and putting the band back together, recruiting some musicians for live instrumentation. Want to hear more? Keep watching. That's right, CiceroMode Creative, Music, and Media, what I like to create, produce, and promote, and what I talk about on these vlogs every Monday for 196 Mondays in a row. So back here in downtown Tyler, Innovation Pipeline, got my Instagram live going. YouTube stream is up. What up, YouTube? And yeah, man, we in here. We're going to do another one, another vlog, another Monday. A little bit later than usual, 2:30, but we're going to knock this thing out. Pretty chill week overall on the mobile DJ front, so I guess this will be more creative ideas and production. And then, of course, we're going to talk some House of the Dragon. So give me a second. We'll get rolling. Just 1 minute. All right, that looks good. All right. Few adjustments here. There we go. Yes, so back again, another vlog, another Monday. Shout out to YouTube, Instagram, everybody. Hope your week has started off well, productive for this Monday. And we got to get it, man. It's been a very hot month of July. A lot going on in the news over the weekend, a lot going on in general for everybody. But, you know, I like to get in here and do these vlogs, give you guys a little behind the scenes of what I've been working on, things on the come up. But last week didn't have too much going on. I had a DJ set at Where's Rufus on Wednesday, doing like I do, mashups, requests, a little bit of everything. And good turnout, good vibes as usual. Got some interesting things in the works for the beginning of August. So I will say just stay tuned for some flyers, for some other event information. That should be out very, very soon. As we get closer to August, man, June or July is almost over, right? We're halfway through today. So, excuse me. So, yeah, knock that out. Again, no events over the weekend. It's so hot. A lot of outside mobile DJ events slow up a bit. So, I've been kind of planning for some weddings I got at the end of the month. Doing some correspondence on a few other events, a few that I'm not able to do, some that I've got in the beginning months of August. So, really been going back and forth with those clients, just making sure we're all good. Any other ideas? One might have a very cool video content portion to it. So hopefully that's going to work out. So been working through a lot on that tip, but not as much in the wedding game. You know, I wanted to do a mobile DJ mailbag today, but I'm going to try to keep that going, add in some new wrinkles, ideas with that here in the future. So just stay tuned. But if you have mobile DJ questions, feel free to DM me or put them in the comments. Either place, YouTube, IG, and I will be happy to answer them on the vlog or if I can, behind the scenes. But so not as much on the mobile DJ tip as far as events outside of the Rufus gig, But really, what I was doing over the weekend, as that kind of got done, rolled into the weekend off, it's always a little tricky for me. Idle hands, don't know what to do. Um, but yeah, really just was going back through my old music, my old libraries on some beats, some things that I want to work on moving forward. I've talked about it quite a bit here that I'm really concentrating on creating more and formatting music more for music, sync licensing, TV, film. That's just a direction I gotta go. I want to go, but I think I have to go at this point in my career. It's just closer to where I am as a person, and what gets me excited about music production and collaborations and things like that. So it's been the last few weeks, or pretty much most of the summer, has been figuring out how I want to go about that. Not necessarily a rebrand, but how I want to add these other services, these other things that I do to what people know me for. A lot of people just strictly know me as a DJ here in the local area, but done some different things with content, done some different things with kind of music sync licensing, short films in the past. But as the DJing got heavier, I just kind of focused more on that. So switching the focus back a little bit to just kind of balance things out for where I want to go in the future. So with that, I've been working on a lot of beats that I like from the past that I always knew could work for music, for TV, film, just content. So first, what I've been working on is a new playlist. All right, I've got it up now, still doing a few tweaks to it, but it is called Cicero Mode Music to Sync to. Okay, kind of a shout out, kind of a showing some love to my man Taku, an old album series he has, but a guy I definitely look up to for a lot of inspiration. But pretty much all it is, as far as a playlist, is a playlist of beats, instrumentals, original tracks that I have up already on streaming services, gone through my distributor, DistroKid. So they're all available to utilize on any social media platforms. Again, I want to remind people, as they're working on their own content, as they're putting up quick TikTok, IG reels, YouTube reels, that I do have music that you can search, sync up, and utilize. So I have that playlist. I'm going to be pushing that more throughout the week. Cicero Mode Music to Sync to. And it's all songs that are already up on my socials. So any social media platform you use, you can just search by the songs you like. You can actually listen to the full albums if a few of the choice tracks that I put on the playlist aren't something that you really vibe with. And see if you can find something. And, hey, let's collaborate, man. It's a lot easier. Everybody's making content themselves now. POV videos, recap videos from the weekend, photo dumps. So what I've got up right now is a lot more lo-fi, chill vibes, but I'm working on some new music that is a little more, I guess, commercially viable for people doing content, music, sync libraries, and that's just really something I've been researching over the past month and really getting prepped to move into here in a new chapter in my production and composition journey. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be doing some more content around Cicero Mode Music to Sync to. So yeah, let's collaborate, man. Anything you like that you vibe with, hit me up, or just feel free to just go ahead, search it, and add it. But I always like to know ahead of time, because then I'll reshare. I'll make sure to get you a shout out however I can, as many times as I can, on whatever you're working on. So again, looking to work more in the realm of sync licensing, music for TV, film, content, media composing, as that extends and everybody needs content, everybody needs music, and kicking around the idea of trying to do some of my own sync licensing, rather not just for my tracks, but more seeking out tracks, having my own library for people to reach out to, listen to, and utilize. So be on the lookout for that. I will say, working on that, and it's really something I'm excited about because it's a little bit different. But as I go through a lot of my older beats, some of my older projects that started off as, really just making a beat tape or trying to find artists that would like to jump on these tracks, I've realized that I've always gravitated to kind of more introspective, bed music, background music type of beats. I will say, whether I was being self-conscious or it's just the truth, but, going through the era of being a beat maker, making beats for rappers or beats to rap to, I always felt like I didn't get the the oh shit reactions that you would get, or the Jay-Z putting the bucket over his face for a lot of these beats that I would make, whether that be because I didn't do a lot of sting intros, in the music licensing and TV world. There's a lot of what's called stingers or stinger outros, or just things that catch your attention right off the top. But what I like about what I'm learning about music licensing or sync licensing, and obviously if you just listen to music on whatever, TV, reality shows, again, it's music in the background. You still got to hear dialogue. There's action to sync up scenes to, which is always something I enjoyed anyway when it comes to making edits. So a lot of those songs can be a little more simplistic, still have emotional pull, but not, have so much going on that it just gets, an artist or somebody excited to turn up in the club or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's been fun going back through some old projects, finding some tracks that I think work well for that. So that's really what I've been doing the last week. Over the weekend is just restructuring a lot of beats that I formatted more for artists. The set, 16 bars, 8-bar chorus, maybe a bridge, that kind of breakdown, and going towards, shorter tracks, having those sting outros, having some risers, adding a lot more effects to just fit better for sync licensing. And it's something that I'm learning as I go, but it's very exciting. So working on that, restructuring some beats for that. And then I also just fell into collecting some new music quotes or movie quotes, I'll say. I have a lot of beats around. I always like to put movie quotes in them. First, I think that's just what happens in hip hop a lot, but also just think, it's something that I think adds that element to a track that you didn't expect. What up? What up? Do this too real quick. As an element that you don't expect from my music, a lot of times, like I said, my beats might not come in banging off the top. It's more of a slow build. So I like having the movie quotes as a way to, set the mood a little bit better. But what I found is, hey, that just ties into me already wanting to work more in music and sync, work where dialogue plays a big part in how the beat is structured, or at least how it flows. So I've been enjoying that as well. So been taking beats, restructuring them, some old projects that I didn't necessarily put on, the main distributors, reworking those, make some projects that I can send out to some of these sync libraries, start that process of getting some feedback and seeing if I've got what it takes, I guess, if I am submitting to those types of things. And then again, just working on some new projects that I know already are in the format or are not using a bunch of samples. Obviously, I use a lot of samples for a lot of my lo-fi. So finding ways to recreate some of those samples, which I'm going to talk more about. And, ways to make these viable for sync libraries where I'm not then going back and trying to, find who I got this loop from and that whole deal. I've done enough research to realize that's somewhere you don't want to be if you're just trying to get your foot in the door, is to have a lot of samples that, these libraries have to go through back work to try to get clear. So kind of similar to an old hip hop format, but again, not as, I guess sometimes it's, a rapper or something that's on an album, or at least what they used to make you believe. So losing some of that, formatting it more for sync libraries, and again, making that new playlist that you guys can check out whenever you like. I'll have that whole list shared and some more content around that, music to sync to, and just ride with me on this journey, man. If you're somebody that I just started following in the sync library world, I'm definitely trying to pick up as much game as possible. So any hints, any resources you've got for me, any tips, anybody else I should check out, let me know. Hit me up in the DMs or in the comments. Let's connect. I'm really just trying to build out that community of people here on my socials. So worked on that. We're going to tie in my other music production topic, and then we'll get to House of the Dragon, newest episode at the end. So besides that, though, I'm still on the same vibe. Like I said, being a sample-based producer, making a lot of beats, strictly from, a sample that I like. Hey, I might just like the guitar on it. It might have some other elements that just, add the gumbo, add to the vibe that ends up being almost as crucial to a sample. But finding creative ways, clever ways to get those replayed, playing myself if I need to on my limited keyboard skills. And then, again, when it comes to guitars, things like that, drums, figuring out ways to get it done. So I've done a lot of this in the past. Our old project, which is also up, I guess I need to been shouting this out some more. A short film I worked on years ago. I will be putting that up, or it is up right now, but I'll be releasing it out a little bit more for people to check out. Back then we did a lot of work with bass guitarists, keyboardists for tracks for that, staying away from those samples. But as I got more into DJing and just what I in general love about hip hop is a lot of those samples, man. I love digging the crates, finding soul samples, flipping them. So I'm really trying to figure out ways to be able to still do that, but obviously have music that's viable, like I said, for music, for sync, to be played out, to be made into albums and not have to worry about sample clearance. So I've really just been thinking on ways to go about that. Like I said, adding those new movie quotes gave me some renewed creative energy, I guess. Thinking again more in sample mode, album mode of how I can structure these out, structure beats, structure albums, projects together, concepts for things that I never completely knocked out of the park. So that's really the next thing I'm working on. As I said, putting the band back together. Over the years, I've done plenty of different projects or worked on a lot of collaborative projects here locally that tie into a lot of different things in the hip hop realm, whether it been the Beats and Flows series that I was doing at Clicks, where we focus on beats and flows on the producers and on MCs, having some beat sets, having some MCs come up and perform as well, whether it be from the lowdowns, doing our lo-fi kind of featured lo-fi focused events. That's where we really got to start doing some live jams, bringing out guitarists, bringing out the homies that work on the MPCs, and really just getting to be more collaborative. And I really enjoyed that process. We come out, hey, I've got this sample, let's just vibe and do our thing. And as time went on, we did more of those shows, been going back and forth with trying to find venues for those types of shows, and it's been tough. So I kind of had to put a lot of the live jam, live instrumentation type events where we play out at a venue or a club or something like that on the back burner, because you obviously have to come with a set list. You can't be doing a completely live jam. Sometimes you can. How we would tie it in was with DJ portion, then have like live performers, but I really want to just focus strictly on kind of that live band instrumentation. I think it's going to help with some projects that I'm working on myself, but also maybe just to collaborate with other musicians that love hip hop, love soul music, and then also have something that we can put on the road, man. A group of musicians that know what it's like to play live, are seasoned in the game of being in bands, being in groups, and really being able to have something that's, not like a set band, but we know the players know what type of music we make, or the music that was made in the past, and it's kind of plug and play. So what I think I want to do, and I kind of want to ask this more so, I guess, than just roll it out, but we're here now. What I think I want to do is work on a live jam band. And I hate to say jam band, although it's kind of that. I love jam bands or everything they stand for. But again, a group that can come together, vibe out, work on some creative ideas, have some fun, but still be thinking in the more professional realm of, hey, let's make this into a set. Let's make this into an entire project or sequence of tracks that we can go out and play live. So that takes a lot of extra communicating, a lot of extra rah-rah that, I can't lie, man. It's been something that I've just been a little weary of doing. Like I said, I've been in the game for a long time, working with a lot of different musicians, whether it be local, regional, put together a lot of these different types of events that were kind of half and half event, half live jam, trying to add those elements together. But, it's always a little bit taxing when you have to put yourself out there, as a musician or as an event promoter, a coordinator of events, whatever you want to call it, and hope that everybody will be on the same page and that we can make something happen that's beautiful, right? So In the past, I think those things have worked well at times, other times not as much, or maybe I myself put expectations on certain things that I didn't need to. We need to just see where they go. So uh, it's been tricky figuring out where that lies. Is it on me? Do I just need to recruit different musicians to work with? Do I need to be in a completely different region of the world for this to even work? So there's a lot of back and forth that goes through my head with that. But I got to do something. So it always usually comes to that. It's what has always come to me in my career with original music, is that I have these ideas, I have these things that I like to accomplish, and it's easy to get negative. It's easy to get distracted, to just get lazy. I guess sometimes as well on my part. Now I'm just talking about me, on pushing those things. But a lot of times I will say it does just come down to fear, and fear of failure, fear of another something not coming together, or being something that's whatever the biggest thing in the world. Um, but there's still that need, is still that yearning to collaborate, to work with others. So that's really what I want to try to focus on with this new project. Years ago, and I've talked about it on here, I did a project called Planet Soul, worked together with my homie Dollar Bill, producer here in the East Texas area, and we just made kind of a beat tape. Then, we played it out at a few of our Beats and Flows events, and, had kind of a loose sci-fi concept to it. But what I really think I want to do is keep those elements and format it more as a band. From that, we kind of made a group chat between myself, my man D-Phil obviously helped us with the artwork, a few other people that were involved with some of those events at the time, whether they're local or regional, and kind of left it at that. Would throw some sci-fi elements in there at times, and just try to, I guess, keep the interest up. But as I would get discouraged, as I would change kind of what I was focusing on, I knew I was kind of falling back on that. But the main thing was I wanted to be able for us to play out live on a more regular basis. So what I think I'm going to be doing, and what I want to roll out slowly, is we're going to take it to the FB. I was thinking the other day, I really don't like going to Facebook except for a few things, and it's pretty much for the groups. And what was the other thing? Oh, just like no, it was just the groups, I think. Like the group, local group, and then just checking different groups that I'm in. I don't like to go there. Oh, no. The two things I do like about FB still are FB groups and the snooze feature. If you know about the snooze feature, I love it. Again, it just helps me with my mindset a lot of times. Hey, I've got a lot of friends doing a lot of different things. And even though they're your friends, or even though they're promoter buddies or whatever, some stuff can just clog up your head, clog up your productivity throughout the day. And, it's not really ever no shade for anybody. Everybody's hustling and doing what they need to do content-wise or social media-wise. But with that snooze function, if I get that feeling that, hey, this content isn't going to help me be more productive, I know whoever it is getting what they got to get off, saying what they got to say, doing what they need to do. But for me, it doesn't help my productivity at all for whatever reason. So in those cases, I just snooze those people for a little bit of time, give it some time. If they're on some negativity and whatnot, I know everybody goes through different, stages and chapters in life. So hopefully they'll be back around and it won't be so serious the next time. But just snooze them for about 30 days. See once they come off of the snooze if the vibe stays the same. And usually I just put people on snooze again. I'm not big on deleting people, fans, friends, all that kind of thing. My man, what's up? Shattered Perspective says, I recently deactivated FB and primarily on Insta, but I miss it. Events. Okay, events, see, that's the thing. I used to be very big on events, talking about these shows. A lot of these Beats and Flows in our old Foundation Hip Hop promoted shows. It was all about the events, making an event page, dope design, this and that. And I know when it got around COVID, things just kind of fell back, and I just never came back to making events, even for, some of my concurrent events like Rufus or some of the bigger promoted events. I didn't get back into that. I just kind of switched over to groups. I noticed more on groups, people will put information about events and it seems to get a little more traction. But I don't know, maybe doing some more events. My Shattered Perspective brought that up. But I don't know. Main things I use it for right now is, like I said, the snooze feature, Again, I like to see all the people you go to high school, middle school, your cousins, your uncles, and all that. It's great. But when it comes to productivity, Facebook is just kind of social at this point. But one thing I do like about groups is it's a little more regional, and I want to try to make a Planet Soul Facebook group that is focused more towards live instrumentation and being in the East Texas area. So what I want to do with it, I don't know if I want to put jam band on there, but I definitely want to say this is a Planet Soul, a live musician group where, again, I can add musicians as they show interest for the vibe we're looking for: hip hop, soul music, looking to collab, being able to play by ear, work together in a loose format, but also that got some things going on their own. So we're able to build a project together, but also promote and help everybody on what they're working on individually. So that's the plan, man. I'd love some feedback. Got my IG rolling up here. Still got the YouTube going. If you were a musician in a local area, would you join a local jam collective, local playing collective where you just vibe out, play over some different types of tracks, and see where things go from there? But for me, I think that's a little bit easier than turning into a nightlife person where I got to go to every event, mainly because I'm usually DJing, I'm usually working at the same time when everybody else is doing shows. I know over the years that's hurt me, not being able to be, a socialite in the nightlife scene locally. So I'm thinking maybe with this group idea, that's a way that I can go about it, still be able to get the word out, see who's ready and willing to jump into something like that, and go from there. And right now with Planet Soul, we've still been kicking around some ideas. The homie Dollar Bill's always making beats. So I'd like to start with something maybe bi-weekly where we can come together, play new ideas out live, collaborate, and hopefully live stream it. I've been watching a lot of the dude that started Patreon, I think Pumple Mouse is the name of his band. But, they have a really cool kind of live in-studio setup. Still in the works, looking for a studio that can fit everything, but at least doing a live jam where there's a little bit of a live stream to let people know what we're working on, and then we're able to play out live. We don't have to make an event page as early because we've got these live streams to show people what's up. So, yeah, that's really the main thing. I'll say it to both screens. Up here on IG, man, want to bring back Planet Soul, looking for musicians in the local East Texas, Tyler area that are looking to collaborate, looking to kind of replay the old project that we have, as well as working on some new music, put it in a format that can be played out live, and just really seeing where we can go into outer space. Planet Soul, it's a great idea that, again, I get hot and cold with it. But if you'd like to be added, if you'd like to be in the Planet Soul Facebook group, DM me, add me here, DM me. If you're in the East Texas area, Tyler area, musicians that would like to collab on that. And I'm also looking for musicians to help, like I said, replay some of these beats, some of these samples for some of my own personal music for the future. So let's get it going, man. This is the last chance with Planet Soul, man. I want to try to get it going, thinking maybe this live jam group on Facebook can help re-energize it and get us back to outer space, right? So Planet Soul, live jam, live band, Facebook group is on the way. If you're interested, holla at me. All right, well, we got to get to the end of this thing. It's 3 o'clock. I got a little bit of time left. House of the Dragon. We got another episode to talk about. We are here now. House of the Dragon, episode 5. Spoilers incoming. We're going to talk about it and review it. So, House of the Dragon, episode 5 is, if I'm not mistaken, titled Regent. Because throughout the episode, if you know what happened last week, which again, spoiler alert, last week we had a massive dragon battle. Dragons, we lost 2 dragons, and we lost Rhaenys. I'm getting her name right. These Ray people, there's a lot of them. But the grandmother, the princess that was not, I think is what they used to call her, right? Her and her dragon lost the battle to Vhagar. So they're off the board, and Vhagar, all we know for now is he's laid up, she's laid up, Vhagar. She's laid up, recovering. But the other thing that was the big cliffhanger was what happened to the king. What happened to Aegon. Did he survive? Did Sunfire survive? And that's kind of where we start this episode off. Kind of the recap or just the direct after effects of don't start that. The direct after effects of what happened at this big battle. So we just kind of get Corlys. I'm assuming they sent the Raven to tell everybody, or maybe it's taking too long, so they kind of realize something's wrong. But we've got Corlys going to his throne, looking very distraught, just worn down. So obviously he has gotten the word of what has happened. And then Rhaenyra looking out over the sea, either looking for him to come back or just reflecting on the loss of Rhaenys. So biggest thing coming from that, obviously, is or besides that, is what happened to Aegon. So at the main Dragons or King's Landing, they decide to do more theatrics. I don't know. I've talked about it in the past. Christian Cole, aka JJ Redick, has some very questionable ideas when it comes to being the hand, being the second in command. And I guess what we didn't see between the last episode and this episode is their major plan to, I guess, raise morale, I guess, to just get people to be down with him, or again, I think just to be theatrical. They think doing these things in the streets are what really gets the people on their side, but they're wrong. I said after last week that I really, even though they lost Melee's, they lost their oldest and most experienced dragon and dragon rider, to me, it still felt like the Blacks won this entire encounter because, again, Aegon did his thing under their own whatever mess ups. So Aegon is off the board, or we don't know how injured he is. He is alive as they do this theatrical, go through the streets. They take Melee's head, cut it off, put it on a wagon. Now they're taking that through the streets. I'm like, what does it do with y'all putting heads on, loose heads on wagons and going through the streets with them? So they're doing it again. They did it with Aegon's son. Now they're doing it with Melee's the dragon, with this same hype man talking about, hey man, here's the traitor dragon. Y'all look at this. We killed it. Aegon, the king, killed it. And it was shot really well. Music, or the lack of music, was done really well. You really can just hear kind of the people in the street, and you realize there's a lot more gasps and, shock than maybe I guess they assumed it would be, like cheering and people throwing the little flowers and whatnot, like in Star Wars or something, in the Star Wars. That's not what went down. People see this dead dragon or this dragon head going through the city as a bad omen. They already ain't got no food. And, it's just, I think it's just shocking for everybody. There's no celebration. It's just, what the hell is, what happened? I think is the main thing. So as they make their way, we realize that Aegon is in a little smaller thing behind the dragon head to kind of sneak him in. They get in, and we get kind of a gross, gory scene of taking his armor off, seeing a little bit of his injuries and how bad he is, how bad of a shape he's in. It's pretty bad, but by all accounts, he is still alive. The maesters say, and the little helper ladies, they're working hard to keep him alive, but he's in bad shape. And, that's really where you get the big parallel of, Viserys being kind of in the same bed. Later in the episode, they show a better shot that reminded me of it. But, again, just flat of his back. That's where Viserys was for a lot of the end of his tenure as king. And now Aegon's laid up, just, even younger. So, that was sad. I've said before, I've liked how Aegon has acted his performance, the actor's performance throughout the series this season. So we'll see him in some format, but not in that. I'm sure that same attitude, that same way he was acting kind of cocky all over the place that he was early in the season. But he's injured very badly, but he did make it through the battle at Rook's Rest. And, scrolling down here in my notes. But yeah, we've got to find out what to do next. Back over in Dragonstone, it's kind of the same as last episode. Rhaenyra is trying to do things, but a lot of these guys are still not down with it. In her council, they're like, hey, you're the queen and you're a lady. We don't want you doing anything. So there's a lot of this sexism still going on. Of course, why would it have disappeared during one episode? But yeah, they're still on that. She wants to fight. She's ready to take her dragon out, but it's no, we can't let you fight. but then it's also, no, we can't really let you have any say on what we're doing either. So which one is it? Is really my thing. But again, Rhaenyra is getting a little frustrated with that. They're all just more like, hey, go hit up Daemon, tell him to come back over here. Meanwhile, Daemon is at Havenhall. Again, did I say it right? Yes. Havenhall, and he's continuing to have these freaky dreams and things that are obviously seems like being promoted or conjured up by Alice. Is that her name? Which is kind of a witch over there at Havenhall. And really, it's just him still trying to put together a plan over there while having these crazy ass dreams and not quite knowing what's going on. So his crew is saying, "Hey, we could start doing things, but our castle is busted. We got to fix that, and we're gonna have to figure out something with what's their names, the Blacks and the two people from the fast forward battle a few episodes ago. Harrenhal, I always say Havenhall, but at Harrenhal, they're pretty much saying, if we can persuade either the Blacks, which one is it? I don't see their names here. I gotta write out everybody's names. There's too many damn names. Yes, the Blacks leader, or not the Blacks, it's the Barnwells and the somebody. Anyway, they are the closest to Daemon's side. Pretty much, he's saying, hey, y'all be over here, be my army, but the battling two families, they don't want to surrender. Where are the damn's names? It should be on here somewhere. Anyway, Daemon goes out with his little homies. They try to get this smaller house to surrender. They aren't gonna do it. So he kind of does like he did earlier and just says, hey, y'all can go over there and do some pillaging and some killing of, I guess, the youth and the women folk, and just take them completely out of commission, and then we'll have an army. But it's kind of a dumb plan. Daemon, has another dream, which I guess I thought it was supposed to be Viserys' wife, but it was actually his own mom, which, hey, these people like to do what they do, right? But yeah, it's pretty much his mom telling him all the things he wants to hear in this crazy fever dream of, hey, he was the best son, he should be the king, he was great, and this is all while they're getting freaky, which is extra freaky. But that's the dream he kind of has as he's continuing to try to put together his play. And it looks like this Alice Rivers is definitely behind that. If she's not putting him under a spell and then saying all these things, she knows how to get inside his head and use his memories or see his memories. But he's got a lot going on at Harrenhal, and really doesn't seem like he knows what's going on or what to do either. But he still doesn't want to reach back out to Rhaenyra to try to work together. He kind of tells Alice Rivers that, hey, I want to go take over King's Landing myself with my own squad. And, if she wants to come over and be by my side, she can do that. But it's going to be me as the king. It's kind of where he's at. But he's obviously having trouble recruiting an army, between these two houses that have just been battling for decades, for, centuries. He hasn't been able to put it together. So that's really where we're at with Daemon. We get a few shots of his dragon, but he didn't do what he should have done and burn him up. So moving on, I'm rolling down here. Besides that, we've got Alicent back over at the kingdom. They're in their meeting and they propose, well, Aegon is, obviously injured, almost gravely, but he can't definitely make any decisions. He can't even be a figurehead because he's got to be in the bed all day to recover. So we need a backup. We need a new king or somebody in charge until we can find out, if he will be able to be back as the king. And that is why the title is Regent, because that's what you, I guess, call it, is a king regent, the acting king or whatever. So Alicent kind of puts her hat in the ring. Hey, let me go ahead and do that. I already know what I've been doing. I've been controlling y'all, or been trying to control y'all behind the scenes since I was a little girl with all these things I did. But all of her crew is like, hey, we didn't want Rhaenyra. Why do you think we want you in here, right? In so many words. She goes around the table with the Larys character, and he betrays her, and let's do Aemon. So everybody agrees, besides Alicent, that Aemon should be the next in charge. She kind of already put together that he has something to do with Aegon's injuries, but I guess instead of telling them that, I mean, I guess it's still her son. She doesn't want to completely take him out of the whatever, but she just lets it ride. So Aemon is now the regent for the kingdom, and who knows what all he gonna do. First things he decides to do though is lock all the town folk in the castle, in the kingdom walls, so they can't go out. There's a few other characters talking about if they should leave. So obviously this is going to turn a lot of the people against the king, against what's going on, the royalty there in King's Landing, which is what Rhaenyra is starting to figure out. She wants to get out there and fight. She wants to get out there and go to war on her dragon. She's got to be more clever, more cunning, and again, play the role that women have to play, but she has a little bit more control in that because she got them dragons, right? So that's kind of where we are. She's put her plan together, trying to figure out how to do this. We get kind of our biggest addition, or our biggest, addition, or whatever you want to call it, contribution, I guess, a better word, from Luke, her son that was not killed earlier on when she sent them out. He's kind of figured out, hey, I'm going to try to recruit some more people to our side if we can just promise them Harrenhal. And the tricky thing I'm getting with that is that after the war, or when do they get it? Because obviously Daemon is there now. They do show throughout the episode that Daemon's got the weird stuff going on with the witch lady, all the money and all the upkeep it's going to take to get Harrenhal up and going. So if they can somehow just get some extra help for their war chest, and give Harrenhal, get it kind of off of their hands, if Daemon realizes that, which he should, since he's already saying, I just want to go to King Landing and do the dirty there, take him out there, then it should work out. But apparently this plan is bad. One other YouTube video I was watching was saying that, this plan is not going to work. I think that's based on the books, but seems like, well, the thing that's not going to work with his plan is at the end of the episode, him and Rhaenyra, after they're kind of comparing what they've been working on, we're kind of at that. Hey, they're down to take over Harrenhal afterwards, but we got to get some more dragons out here. That's kind of where Rhaenyra is as she's studying some of the old Valyrian texts. So that's kind of where we end this episode. Rhaenyra and her son Luke are really just trying to put together, or what's his name? Jace? That's not right. His name ain't Luke. Yeah, I think it's Jace. People don't put the names on here. Yes, Jace. I called him Luke. Jace is Rhaenyra's son that's still alive. Luke was the one, I believe, that passed away. So Jace and the mom kind of like, hey, we got to go out here like the Avengers. We got to go out here like, not Captain America, Jesus. We got to go out here like fucking Samuel L. Jackson in Avengers. You know what I'm talking about. And recruit, like I was talking about earlier in my stream. Recruiting. Got to recruit some new musicians. Got to go out here and recruit some new dragon riders. The biggest thing with that is Nick Fury, goddammit. Sorry for cursing. But yes, Nick Fury. We got to go out here like Nick Fury and recruit some dragon riders, right? So throughout time, there's always, illegitimate kids, bastards, however you want to call them, from people with royal bloodlines. And that's where we're at. Are we able to go find some of these, kids that have been brushed aside? Last season we had kind of the scenes with Aegon impregnating a young lady. They make her take the tea, but it just seems like, the game plan is either to make them take a tea or, hey, go live down there and whatever. There was kind of that one brothel where it's like Daemon, a bunch of Daemon's illegitimate kids were in there, like getting in fights and just whatever, living it up, or not living it up, but having to try to get through without being having access to any of their royalty and just being, brushed aside as these bastard or useless kids. Well, now the plan seems to be to either do a big recruiting process to try to find out what these cousins, these bastards, these lightly Valyrian bloodline folks, what they can do, and if they can tame a dragon, which it was a good ending, I think, to the episode, because it did kind of give you this, all right, we've got a plan. But now I do kind of see what they're saying. These people aren't royalty. they haven't studied the language, to control the dragons, right? So for this to work perfectly, it seems like, or to work at all, there's going to be some loss. Some people are going to fall off the dragon, get eaten by the dragon, think they're good at controlling it and not. So who knows who will actually be good enough to do this without all the training or all just this royal backing, which is kind of Jace's point is, hey, maybe anybody can control some dragons, or you don't have to be this royal bloodline. If you got any of it in you, you can figure it out. So they've already teased a few different characters that might have the power, might be able to control these dragons, to fly these dragons. So I think that's where we're at. We're going to see, I don't know if it's going to be like a kingdom-wide search with up, or if it's just going to be kind of relegated to, them going out Nick Fury style and, hey, I heard your daddy, or you don't know your daddy, but he did some things with the royalty. Come up here and see if you can fly this dragon. So seems like that's going to go bad for a few people, but they should be able to find some new dragon riders that will put the ball back in their court, give them a few more dragons so Rhaenyra doesn't have to go out and put herself in danger. And it seems like Jace as well, not put himself in danger. But I like that Jace at least came up with a plan, was able to go out on his own and get things accomplished with that plan. So we'll see. I don't know if it was a bad idea yet. I've heard it might be. I'll leave it up to y'all. Did Jace make a mistake going out and making this side deal with Harrenhal for down the road? But we're going to wrap this up, man. House of the Dragon, Regent, Episode 5. I'm going to give it a B-. I'll keep it in the B, but we're back down to B-. Maybe a C+. Probably should just do C+. Not a lot of action, a few cool sequences, but just not a lot to chew on in this episode, I guess is the only way to say it. We kind of got that main setup at the end of where we're headed, but that was about all we got. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna say House of the Dragon Episode 5 gets a C, only a C, not even a plus. And yes, Soulful Living. Hey, we'll have to check that out. Yes, I'm doing my House of the Dragon recap here at the end of my vlog. I don't know if you get into nerdy medieval shows and whatnot, but yeah, I'm just talking about that. So hope your day is going well. Shout out to Soulful Living. Y'all check her out for all your vegan food needs. But yeah, man, House of the Dragon Episode 5. We rocking with a C for this one. I'm not sure how many total episodes we got. We're at Episode 5. I would assume there's going to be 8. So we're getting close to the end. I haven't seen many people saying, that was the midpoint of the season. And because we had that massive dragon battle last week, I don't necessarily seeing it going in like 12, So I think we should be getting close to the end of this thing. There's a few other shows going on that I want to check out. I haven't been watching much of The Bear, which I said I was going to get more into, which I don't know if you watched that, Ella, The Bear, about the cooking. I know they're not cooking vegan food, though, but it's a restaurant show. But we'll see. I'm trying to figure out what show to get into next, because I definitely want to keep some sort of TV film recap going on my vlog, or if it's focused more on music, but still focused on shows that are out now, or, kind of nostalgia. But want to keep that rolling. I try to do some nerdy things every week. Shout out to the lore level. And yeah, so I think that's it. This week, like I said, a lot more chill on the mobile DJ tip. Really just getting into the production bag again. Got some extra inspiration by finding some of these different quotes from movies for TV that I want to use. Got something from Seinfeld, something from Mo Better Blues, classics. So be on the lookout for that. Working on possibly a new Love Themes project tied in with that as well. And again, man, I'll have a new music sync playlist of all my own original music that you can add to your social media content up very, very soon. So that's it again, man. Vlog 196, CiceroMode, Tyler Innovation Pipeline. I'm about to get up out of here. Y'all stay tuned. Have a great, productive rest of your week. And I'll be back next Monday for another vlog. Peace.